Randy, we're seeing in markets people back away from the likelihood of a 50 basis point rate hike at the meeting of the Federal Reserve later this month. Do you think that that's valid, given the guidance, given the strength of the labor market, given the lack of significant downside revisions to what we saw in January?
So we still have a very strong labor market. There's no way around that, and especially at this point after the Fed has been hiking for a full year, those lags might be long and variable, but this is a bit surprising to see so little impact. And so I don't think the Fed has made their decision. I think exactly as John said, as well as Tom. The inflation report is going to be very important because it's really, this is one input, a key input into what inflation is going to be. And that's ultimately what the Fed cares about, is bringing inflation down. If we do see inflation starting to come down, some around the table may feel more comfortable to just say, well, let's stick with 25. But if they don't see signs of it coming down, and you just look at this labor market being pretty hot, I think a number of people will want to push for 50.
It's early days yet in terms of the market reaction, but the knee-jerk reaction seems to emphasize the decline in average hourly earnings and the tick up in the unemployment rate as why perhaps the Fed wouldn't have to go quite as far as previously believed. Do you think that these are significant things, that these are developments that highlight softening around the edges that will show up later on?
Well, as I was saying, that the reduction in the average hourly earnings may just be a composition effect, and so I think it's hard to interpret any one report in too much detail, and really say, well, the Fed's going to change because of it. I think looking over the last 3 months, we still see a very strong labor market. I think that's what the context in which Jay Powell gave his testimony. I think the labor market is still pretty strong. It doesn't seem to be strengthening, but if it were, then I think it would be very clear it'd have to be 50. Now, I think it's reasonable that the market say it's an even bet, but I think a lot will be determined by the inflation number on Tuesday.